Is there a way to be a yes man, to say yes, but without being a pushover and without compromising your integrity, your beliefs, your deadlines, all of that? How do you be collaborative but still, steer the ship?
Well, there was the yes man thing has been a lot to do with taking on projects. And I remember when I said no to my first project, and it was only about a year ago, actually, maybe slightly longer, that and somebody asked if I could do something, and I just said, and I went away, and I came back and said, look, I'm sorry, I don't really have time. I did consult with a mentor of mine, and I said, look, I'm sorry, I don't have time to do it. But then when you're in the project, the key thing is knowing what I want. Oh, here we come. Kevin Spacey, Swimming with Sharks. What do you want? That's what he says. What do you want? He says to this guy who's worked in hell as a year or whatever as his assistant to make it up the Hollywood chain, whatever. I'm sure it's heavily fictionalized and make-believe, but, he, what do you want? And the guy can't answer him. And I remember while watching that movie, I don't know the answer to that. This was years ago I first saw it. I've watched it since. The thing is now, when I do a project, okay, a lot of the projects that I have ideas for, they die. The ones that live, I know I want, okay? And when that project starts, I know what the heart of it is. I said this in another question you asked me, I know what I want because it's at the heart of the project. It's the idea. It's the violin with the subatomic particles. It's the opera singer trading stocks. It's the sun playing the building as a musical instrument while it rises. That's what I want. Everything else can be done around it. If you want to change that, so far no one has made me change the heart. And I don't know if that's me. I don't know if that's because I've defined the projects well at the beginning. But if someone did make me do that, here's an interesting thing. I have had to do fights, but it would depend who it was. If one of my mentors told me, you have got to change the heart of this project, I'm so fortunate in my position and the people I've got supporting me. There's a handful of people who they could actually say to me, you've got to change the heart of this project, and I would do it, because all this myth about the self-sustaining artist, not the route I'm going down. I am dependent on a number of people, so I would compromise, because I know I wouldn't have to compromise forever. If I had to compromise every project, I'd start to lose what makes what I'm doing unique. I hate to sound unpassionate after saying all that, but the truth is I'm damn lucky to be doing what I'm doing, and I'd be willing to doing something damn slightly less interesting than what I'm doing, and it'd still be really interesting, all right? And I'm aware of that, so I know that I could compromise quite a long way with what I do and still feel incredibly fortunate to be what I'm doing, to be doing what I'm doing. So on the one side, there's that part of me, and I think that's a sign of maturity, because when I realize how fortunate I am to be doing what I'm doing, and even doing half of what I'm doing, I'm not going to jeopardize it by allowing my character flaws to run riot, so that's one part of it. But at the same time, I think that people do seem to value at the moment the hearts that I've developed for the projects. So I am able, so they don't seem to want to, they will let me defend it. They won't draw a line in the sand and say, you have to change the heart of that project or whatever. That hasn't happened to me. And I think it will happen rarely, as long as I can be flexible. And it's another of those questions, another of those things in the article, Play Your Cards Right. It talks about never be satisfied, because I think the minute I just start doing a carbon copy, and maybe at first people won't realize it's a carbon copy, but I will. And if I just start doing a carbon copy of everything, eventually, other people will it'll lose that power that enables me to have a heart that people don't try to cut or change or make me compromise, and it will give me the passion that when that does happen, I can defend it. But I am not somebody who wants to live starving in a tiny studio flat, just doing the thing that I believe is artistically brilliant, because I don't think I don't think I am artistically brilliant. I think I'm good at what I do. I think I'm good at my little bit, but you know, I don't think I'm there. There are some people who are just brilliant, amazing, historically amazing, and maybe they're the ones that can get away with being isolated from the world and from society and from reality, because the work they do is just so amazing that it will survive. But even maybe that's a myth. I don't know.